This is Jack, and we're continuing with the point of the nature of your masturbation fantasy and how the nature of that fantasy, together with the energetic charged, literally merged with it, affect and influence you and the being that is in your fantasy. Right. So I used the example of brutality turning you on. So you took a photograph, a picture of a being in a pornographic video, internet site or book, and you've now use that being in creating a fantasy in your mind that is brutal in nature, meaning there's like scratching and hitting and extreme extensive thrusting and biting and pulling, and that whole formed picture intensifies your expression or experience within masturbation, and then you really go for it as you become this created fantasy with that being within your mind, together with the energetic charge that's now fueling it and fueling it and fueling it, and it's becoming more intense and it's compounding until you have your orgasmic release. Now the energetic charge that was built up and compounded within self by self contains the nature of brutality. Now this energetic charge containing and existing as the nature of brutality, because of your fantasy being constructed within the nature of brutality, and the fantasy now becoming and has been manifested as being real by this energetic charge that you have compounded within it, and as an actual real experience, is now manifested within your physical. And because this entire experience was generated by the mind, this energy within the nature of brutality is now kind of stuck within your physical body. It's kind of now only sitting there vibrating like this in your physical body. And because you've connected all this with a specific being within your mind, the energetic charge of the nature of brutality is now also charged within that being, because the being exists within you, as everything and all exists within the physical, as the physical reality, and the mind and everything of the mind and the world system and the unified consciousness field exists within the unconscious mind. So whatever has been experienced and created and designed within that fantasy now exists both within you and the being. Now this energetic charge requires a release, an actual physical release, because its energy is now stuck in your physical body. What will occur is you will attract beings to manifest a situation or experience that will be equal to this brutal energetic charge. In other words, you'll either find yourself, for example, in a fight, or you will initiate a fight, or when you actually really meet a being for real, and depending on how intense and extensive this energetic charge has been and how many times you've used this particular fantasy with the energetic charge being brutal in nature, It could so occur that this energy will literally take you over and you'll live it out, meaning you'll be brutal towards the being in sexual intercourse, in actual physical reality. Also, what can occur is possession by this energy itself that you've created, and will, through this possession, be completely obsessed with sex and the brutality thereof, and actually drive yourself to rape. Those are but a few examples. Now, what happens with the being that you used within this fantasy is exactly the same thing. She will attract a form of physical brutality in her reality and be attracted to it. In other words, beings will enter her reality that is equal to, or that consist of and exist as that expression of brutality, as within the principle of like attracts like, and that being will live that brutality out to discharge that energy of brutality that you compounded within that being. For example, they will either attract rape into their world, being raped, or they will attract a relationship within their world that will be abusive to discharge that physical, energetic experience of brutality. And that is how masturbation through pictures influence both you and the being you're using within your mind. So understand that masturbation with pictures is not just masturbation, and it's not just an orgasmic experience. It has consequence, physical, manifested, real consequence, wherein the being that is masturbating is creating their reality through the energy that is experienced within the masturbation, through the utilization of pictures, and also creating the reality for the being they're using to masturbate with. And as I've explained, depending on the nature of the fantasy, that nature will become the energetic charge you experience during the orgasm of the masturbation, and that energy will compound and manifest within your physical body, will compound and manifest within the being's physical body that you're masturbating with, or that you're using to masturbate with, and so influence their reality, as I've explained, where that energy must discharge in physical, actual, real-time events. Alright, thank you very much. We'll continue in the next interview.